A longtime newsman, now with an opinion. A proud dad, an American, an advocate for our nation's veterans and active duty military. This is the Steffan Tubbs Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
64 degrees in the Mile High City. Good afternoon, Colorado. Friday, May 17th, 2019. I'm Steffan Tubbs, executive producer, Kirk Widlin. 4 minutes now past 4 o'clock. Glad you're with us. What a week this has been. We will continue to talk about what really, I want to say, just blew up our social media pages yesterday. Not only the Facebook page for this show, but the 710 KNUS Facebook page, my own personal Facebook page, our Twitter. We were talking about that Denver middle school that I still just don't see the need to give the name. There are a lot of people in the community that are connected with the school that obviously they know. But for the most of us, there's just no need. I'm not trying to say send a hate mail on the final few days of school to this middle school principal or administration or whatever. When it comes to this Pillars of Islam display that we talked about, we had to talk about it at least half the show yesterday. But if you do follow us, if you want to just be kind of, I don't know, a fly on the wall, if you want to see exactly what people are saying and how many people were outraged and how many people were saying maybe a lot of things that you felt like, well, are they doing it for the advancement of education on Christianity as well, or Judaism or Buddhism? Are they doing that? And the answer is apparently no. So coming up, we'll probably do more of this in our 5 o'clock hour. But I've got a letter from earlier this week that was sent out to apparently parents and I don't know if it was just one individual, but the letter starts, "Dear parent or guardian." So I have a feeling it's not just to the one person who kind of made a big deal about this, sent us the picture, and thus we posted it. We're talking about jihad facts, and talking about how they can't kill civilians, women, or children. Or what was the other one? They had to be, I don't know. It was the 70% of the Quran that maybe some people go, you know what? This makes a lot of sense. Then the 30%, this clearly was taken, these jihad facts, from that 70%. The whole picture, though, for these middle school students, I have felt over the last few days since we got the inside information that this thing was posted in the hallway at a middle school, I just don't think they're doing justice to exactly the full picture. And as so many people texted yesterday, what in the world would happen? The outrage if the Ten Commandments were posted as part of, a lesson and explanation on Christianity. So we can talk about that in the 5 o'clock hour. One other thing before we get to our guests, and I'm really happy to have them calling in from out of state because this is a very, very interesting topic that we will get into that I will set up in just a moment. This kind of goes hand in hand with that. Did you know that this coming Sunday, noon to 3, at the Capitol, there will be a rally? Already 3,000 parents have joined a Facebook page called Help Protect Our Kids. More than 23,000 Colorado parents have signed a Change.org petition demanding increased security at schools and focus on mental health reporting. It is again Sunday, March 19th from noon to 3 at the state capitol. So their mission, protect our kids at school. I'll just read to you real quick. We are first and foremost parents. Parents that are sick of thoughts and prayers and zero, all caps, action. We are not a political group. We do not have a political agenda. We do not and will not discuss gun control, gun reform, or gun laws. We are focused on measures that can be implemented immediately. Our agenda, to ensure the safety of every child while at school. Our children and their parents are speaking. It's time the politicians listen. Our families need to know the politicians are listening. Our kids need to know we will be their voice if need be, or we will allow them to speak if they have the courage to do so. This says our focus is not only on physical means of security, including but not limited to metal detectors and armed guards. We also want to be pushing for the importance of a healthy mind. And it goes on. So that's basically what we've been talking about for the last now 10 days. Since May 7th and the shooting at STEM School Highlands Ranch. This leads in perfectly to our next guest, or guests. You can find out more at their website I will give you, but here's a question to ponder as we get into this interview straight ahead. Would you consider buying a backpack for your son or daughter, grandson, granddaughter, niece, nephew? Would you consider buying a backpack that could be, within a matter of seconds, turned into a bulletproof vest? It's not a joke. It's a very serious thing. How many possibly, with all of the school shootings, I've told you, I've covered now 9 school shootings, 53 kids killed in those 9 school shootings, and more than 120 injured by gunfire. Nobody will ever know, say, if this type of device had been at their disposal, if maybe 1 or 2 lives could have been saved or injuries prevented. So this is from DefendAPackGear.com, and we'll get to our guests right after this.
As children get ready to go back to school, active shooter response drills will be put into place to keep our kids safe. But there has to be a better way than running, hiding, or fighting as a last resort. And there is. DefendAPack is a brand new idea come to life, offering our children 360 degrees of protection and safety. It packs flat, it's cool and compact, with a bulletproof vest packed tightly in the back. DefendAPack can be customized by size and levels of protection, and IJ levels 3A to 3. The vest is made of 1680 ballistic denier nylon, the same as the World War II Army jackets, and surrounds the entire torso, protecting against flying shrapnel from bullet fragments as well as bomb projectiles. There is also an option for an additional plate to be added inside the backpack unit to serve as a face guard for further protection. So with all you now know about DefendAPack, there's only one more question to answer. One of these kids will be totally protected at school today. Is it your child? DefendAPack, wearable protection for life.
So we have the CEO and founder of DefendAPack and a longtime friend of mine. He's president of media relations. We'll get to John DiCepolo in just a moment, but I will tweet out this information. We will put it on our Facebook page. What will it hurt tonight, this afternoon, this weekend, to at least take a look at this website? Again, it's DefendAPackGear.com. Its CEO and founder is Larry James. And Larry, welcome to the program. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Steffan. Glad to be here.
And I want to welcome in also a guy I used to work with in another lifetime at Fox 5 in New York, the president of media relations, My man, John DiCepolo. I'm sorry that we got to talk under these circumstances to both of you gentlemen, but I think what we're going to do over the next several minutes is potentially going to make an impact. So, John, great to have you on the show as well.
Thank you, Steffan. So glad to be with you tonight.
You bet. Larry, let's start with you. What's the genesis of this company, of your idea, and eventually getting this to market?
Well, Steffan, let me first by saying condolences to Kendrick Casillas and his family. It made it down to Florida, and we've had the similar situation here at Stoneman Douglas, and that's in Parkland, Florida, and it stemmed from the actual shooting that took place and watching it on television as close as it was to home, that something needed to be done. My daughter made a cry for help to feel safe again in school, and immediately just started to come to a call to action to create something for her within the confines of the school.
So this has all come about since the Parkland shooting?
Absolutely.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about the actual product, and then I want John to kind of weigh in as well, and we'll talk about how obviously shows like this we can help get the word out that at least, look, you're not trying to shove this down anybody's throat, but this would be an option for kids and parents. So tell me actually about the product.
Yes. Obviously, it's tough that we are in a society at this point that you need this, but it is something realistically and with the reality we have that we do need it. It is a 1680 ballistic nylon material that completely encompasses the torso. It detaches from the backpack. It has 2 bulletproof plates that could be interchanged between a level 3A and a level 3 inside the front and inside the back. It is also concealed, so you can't see it until you need it. It's something that my daughter wears all the time, every day, where she goes. And also it's something that I thought about. The detachable part is very important, that you're not carrying the books around. It's something that after ripping it off, it's 3 pounds, and you can take off, you can hide. It's flexible enough that you can get out of the way and not have to carry weight on your shoulders.
And it can be put on for kids in a situation obviously nobody wants them to be in. It can be put on in a matter of seconds, it sounds like.
Absolutely.
John, I want to ask you, you and I know each other from our past employer, but this from a public relations standpoint, I think, Larry had stated, and I totally agree, it is sad that we even have to have a product that some people may actually be interested in purchasing for their children. But man, that's sadly the world that we live in. So talk a little bit about are you on a fine line between how to market this and, all you got to do is just say, look at what happened 10 days ago in Colorado. So again, welcome to the program. What do you say and how do you get the word out?
I think you keep it straightforward and simple. I think you said it best. These are the times that we are living in right now. If you are a parent right now and you don't think a school shooting can happen in your neighborhood, in your child's school, you are flat out naive. Look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. I am not advocating violence at all. We cannot change the world we live in, but we can change how we face it. We can finally take action. My son is 9 years old. He takes a DefendAPack to school every single day. It's a backpack. It looks like a regular backpack. It acts like a regular backpack. Every kid at school needs a backpack. This one just happens to have a secret compartment in the back that houses a bulletproof vest. The analogy I'd make, Steffan, honestly, would be like driving in your car, for example, okay? You wear a seatbelt in your car. Why? Well, besides being the law, it keeps you safe in the event of an accident. You don't want to have an accident, and you probably won't have an accident. But if you do, you're going to be grateful you're wearing your seatbelt. Same philosophy applies here. We can petition lawmakers, and we've been asked before, you're fear-mongering, you're trying to hype the fear. We're not trying to hype the fear. The fear is already there. I want to do something to address it so that no other student in the country ever has to feel that the only option they have is to hunker down and be a sitting duck. I'd rather give my son the protection and the option to put this vest on, which takes less than 15 seconds to put on. It's lightweight, it's mobile, it is fire retardant, and he can run if he has to. But it's going to give him a fighting chance. You know, we saw the events unfold the last couple of days or 10 days ago, and all I kept thinking about as a parent was, you're on the other side. You're waiting to get information from officers, from school officials. Nothing. You are on a code red lockdown. No one goes in, no one goes out. That includes phone calls sometimes. And any parent out there listening to my voice right now knows that when you're waiting for information, your mind begins to spiral out of control. You think the worst. How could you not? It's your flesh and blood. It's your love. It's your child. But if I know in the back of my head, you know what? At least he has that vest. Please tell me he's wearing the vest. Please tell me he was smart enough to put it on, because we taught him how to use it, and it was so easy. He could just grab it. Mm-hmm. It does give you some peace of mind. We've got to start giving our kids and teachers also a fighting chance here. We can talk about armed guards. We can talk about teachers having guns. We can talk about mental health. All that needs to be addressed. I completely agree. But in the interim, this is a major problem, and it has to stop now. And based on the numbers, it's not going to stop anytime soon unless we do something about it. I want to give our teachers and students out there a fighting chance.
Yeah. John DeCepolo is president of media relations with DefendAPack. Its CEO and founder, Larry James. They're both joining us from Florida, where the company is based, and both of them are fine to take calls and questions as well. So we'll take our first time out. I want to give you obviously the ways to get in touch with the program: 303-696-1971, 696-1971, and fill up the lines. We've got clear lines right now. Again, Larry and John would be happy to answer any questions you have about this. Look, I'm not an advertiser for them. I do know John from the past, but I'm just meeting Larry like you for the first time. And I thought, look, it's 10 days out. I wasn't going to do this 2 days after the shooting. But it just gives you something to think about. Now, the dad in me and the concerned community member in me, I agree with both the gentlemen. It's sad that a product like this has to even be thought about, let alone actually be produced and exist. But it could work. So if you have questions, give us a call, 303-696-1971. Already texts coming in via the free-to-download 710KNUS app, and email anytime, 710knus.com/Steffan. Just got a text coming in from a parent. I would certainly consider buying one of these backpacks here in Colorado. 303-696-1971. We're back with Larry and John with DefendAPackGear.com. That's the website. I just tweeted it out, so you can find it out and check out their videos and check out everything about the product as well. We're back after a check on traffic and a few commercial messages. Stay with us. I'm Steffan Tubbs. This is 710 KNUS.
Now, back to Steffan Tubbs on News Talk 710 KNUS.
64 degrees in downtown Denver. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll have more of Scott's news in about 15, 20 minutes or so. And we continue our conversation with two gentlemen from DefendAPack. And this is something I just posted on the show's Facebook page. I've tweeted it out as well. It's DefendAPackGear.com, and its CEO and founder, Larry James, joins us along with the president of media relations, John DeCepolo. We'll get to your phone calls in just a moment. Couple of lines open, 303-696-1971, 696-1971. If you have a question or comment for Larry and John, they're both kind enough to join us on this Friday evening from the state of Florida that obviously saw just the horrific Valentine's Day 2018 shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland. Larry, I want to get back to you. And when you look at the fact that this has come about basically in the last year, and this is a result of what happened in Parkland, what's been the reaction from literally parents in your area that, it doesn't take too many degrees of separation that, maybe somebody's cousin knew a teacher who was there that day? What's been the parent reaction down there in South Florida?
Well, we had a really good response. We do know, and it always starts off with, it's so sad that we need this kind of product right now because school isn't what we remember it or what we used to go back or we went to school as. But that's understandable, and I feel the same way. I was a parent also that thought the same thing and felt like our schools need to be have more security. They need to protect our kids more. But I got to tell you, when that hit home, when it was that close with the Parkland shooting, that made my mind race a little bit more. Say I have to do something else besides what's out there, protect my daughter.
Right. John DeCepolo, let me ask you, give us some basic stuff. I think probably first and foremost, people would want to know how much this costs. So kind of go through that stuff.
Okay, so we do offer 3 different models. There is a basic, there is a classic, and there is a premium. And the models range anywhere from $99 to $299. The classic combo, that is our most popular model right now, the one that's selling the most, is going for just under $200. Now, that is a backpack and a level 3A bulletproof vest that's hidden inside the back of the backpack. What I like about this product is that it's lightweight, it is fire resistant, it is water resistant, and it is mobile. You have to think now, and it's hard to understand for adults, let alone for kids, that all they want to do is go to school and be with their friends and they're learning, and then all of a sudden, in literally 3 minutes, their world is turned upside down, and you've got to be able to think fast. This allows you to rip it out of your backpack, throw it on you in less than 15 seconds, and now you're mobile. So should you need to run, you have protection in both the front and the back of your body, and will give you that extra layer of protection. God forbid you need it. And again, Larry said it, Steffan, you said it, a lot of people have told us, I cannot believe we're here. I cannot believe we're talking about this. Mm-hmm. But you look at the world we live in. I guarantee you that the kids that are going to school today, they're very much aware of what an active shooter is. They know what it is. And unfortunately, a lot of them and a lot of us are desensitized to it because we're seeing it way too much in the media because it happens so often. This is the world we live in. Again, we cannot change the world. You do, as a parent, have the right to change how you face it, to give your son or daughter a chance at survival, at a chance at defending themselves. I refuse to sit back and let my son go to school without knowing that he at least has something. I don't want him being a sitting duck. We don't know when these shootings are going to take place. We don't. But it's something we have to address. And if you're out there as a parent saying, oh, it's not that big of a deal, it would never happen, you're flat out naive.
Yeah.
Don't be naive.
Well, everybody, John and I, I talked to you earlier this week. I mean, look, the people, I was out there within 30 minutes of this latest school shooting in Colorado here in Highlands Ranch. And what do you hear? You hear every time. And again, I've covered 9 of these. Every single one of them, you hear someone in a soundbite or I've talked personally with that say, we just thought this happened other places, not here. So that's to your point.
Right. Right, exactly. I mean, look at this, this to me, being involved in the news for 25 years, Columbine was the first one that really made me sit down and say, oh my goodness, what just happened? Like, I had a tough time wrapping my head around that to find out what's going on. And then you hear all these shootings pop up. Parkland, Florida. Parkland, Florida is a very wealthy area of the country to live in, a very affluent community. People thought, oh, it could never happen. And in that case, Nicholas Cruz, the shooter, pulled the fire alarm to get kids drawn out of class before he went on a shooting rampage. So for me, I would make it a protocol that not only if it's a code red do you put this vest on, if the fire alarm is pulled, you put the vest on. These kids had a fire alarm that was pulled at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. I guarantee you they probably thought, just a drill.
Right.
Just a drill. Never imagined walking out and facing down what was, for some of them, their inevitable death. And it breaks my heart, especially now when we have the technology, we have the knowledge, we have a way to either partially stop it or slow them down or at least give them a fighting chance. Yeah. You have that knowledge. And if you don't take the steps to acknowledge what's going on in the world today, then to me, that is the failing point.
Yeah. John DeCepolo and
Hey,
Larry.
Steffan.
Yeah, go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, Steffan, if I can interject for a second?
Yep.
Okay. I thought about this too as well. back in 1912, the Titanic was this unsinkable ship, did the unthinkable, right?
Yeah.
2,200 passengers went out, 1,700 perished. And the reason why is there was disconcern for safety. Ever since that tragic night, it's been mandated that life vests are on every water vessel that goes out. Now, that being said, anyone who's ever taken a cruise, they know the first thing that happens before they disembark, a muster drill. A muster drill is a captain tells his crew members, bring everybody out, we're going to go over the life vest, we're going to show you where it is. This is their way of saying we're showing you where your protection is just in case. We hope you don't need it, but if you do, here it is. Same thing here. We're not saying that you march around with this vest on. We're saying that we hope if you have it, you use it. If you need it, you have it. And if you don't, you can wish you had it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully you never have to open the backpack and put this vest on. 303-696.
That's a win if you don't.
Exactly. 696-1971. Again, we're talking with the CEO and founder, Larry James of DefendAPack. It's DefendAPackGear.com. You can see all of the information. You can see their videos, the how-tos. Also, their president of media relations, John DiCepolo, joining us here in this first hour on 710 KNUS. Let's get to the phones. And again, our number, 303-696-1971. Lynn joins us on 710 KNUS. Lynn, you're on with Larry, Steffan, and John. Welcome, and thank you for the call.
Hi, gentlemen. I completely support this idea. If my children were young, I would buy the top-of-the-line one for them in a heartbeat. I think it's an amazing idea. It's not a panacea, but I agree with being a sitting duck. You need alternatives if you just have an option rather than nothing at all. And I totally think it's a great idea. And it's sad that this is the new normal, but any time that a parent could add another layer of protection, it's not a given that it would be foolproof, but it certainly would make me feel better that I've done all I could as a parent.
Yeah, Lynn, before I let Larry answer, is that hail that I hear?
No.
Rain? Is it just rain?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
A little bit out west. Yeah.
All right, because I heard we had a hell of a hailstorm earlier from northern Colorado. Lynn, thank you for the phone call. Larry, you hear about that. Obviously, look, I don't want to make you guys sound like all you're doing is, sure, business. You want business to succeed, but here's a parent that says, at least this would give me a little bit of peace of mind. I'm sure you hear that a lot.
Yes. Hi, Steph. I want to thank Lynn for her question and her response. That's great to hear. I also want to remind everyone that we're in a different world. We're a different time at this point. Right now, what's leading the box office is Marvel, superheroes, DC Comics, and we have our kids looking and watching these shows. And what they think of sometimes is protect, get away, be the hero. And the point is kids know that during these cold red drills, you're sitting ducks. And I had a conversation with my daughter who wears this vest, and she said, Dad, I got to tell you, when we have these cold red drills, we talk. We're not going to go to a hard corner. We're not going to go and hide under a desk. We're not going to be sitting ducks. We're going to go and get out. We're going to go and we're going to fight. We're not going to just let someone just take our lives. So that mindset, wouldn't you like to have wouldn't you want to have your child have a fighting chance with a DefendAPack, a vest that they can take off, they can fight? Because I can tell you right now, if Kendrick Castillo had this on, he might still be alive with us.
Yeah.
Or he might be here.
Yeah.
So he had there's an opportunity out there to get that. I think we need to understand that our kids need our help as well.
Amen. Again, Larry James, the founder and CEO of DefendAPack. John DiCepolo, I want to ask you a question that came in via text. It says,
Sure.
Would the vest turn your child into a target? I'm sure you've been asked this before, but does it look like you're actually wearing a bulletproof vest, or is it somewhat hideable? Now, I don't know, obviously, if you've been asked that before, but
Sure.
Would you respond to that?
I would say the vest is one of the most flexible pieces of material that I have seen. And look, I've worked in the news for 25 years, Steffan. I've seen a lot of different products in the market, a lot of what I would call military-grade or official police-grade bulletproof vests. They're excellent. The problem is they're big and they're bulky, and they're hot to wear, and they're heavy. This vest, I think, is no more than 2 to 3 pounds. You can put it on quickly. It's flexible. But more importantly, it doesn't necessarily look like a bulletproof vest. I mean, if you were an international traveler and you wanted to wear this, you could wear this under a sports coat. You could wear it under a jacket. It is that comfortable. And I've talked to different parents out there that say, you know what? How much do other vests go for? Other vests in the market, and you can look at it. I'm not lying. You can go online and look. Some of these vests are going for $300, $400, $500, $600. Mm-hmm. Our product, we feel, is at the right price point that parents can afford it to ensure safety for their children. One woman said to me, well, I'm not sure I could spend $200. And I said, well, how much did you spend in your car seat? And she said, oh, yeah.
Wow.
I said,
yeah, that
is to protect your child in the car. Now, think about that.
Yeah,
it's $200 to give you peace of mind every time they set foot in that school. I, right now, am saying a prayer saying, thank goodness I have this product for my son, and I'm hoping others will follow, because it's time for us as parents to protect our investment, protect our children, because if we don't, what's the point?
Yeah. Let's take another phone call again. John DeCepolo, Larry James with DefendAPack. And look, I think I speak for Larry. We've already said this. I speak for Larry and John and myself. We wish we would never have to talk about this. But this is reality. And I don't know. Obviously, you parents, you need to make your own decisions about how you talk to your kids about an active shooter situation, and especially with the latest in Colorado just 10 days ago. But it's sad we've got to be in this, but let's not bury our head in the sands. And this is taking some proactive action. Kelly joins us on the program. Kelly, welcome. Thank you for the phone call, and good afternoon. You're on with Larry and John. Go ahead.
Hello, gentlemen. Good afternoon. I just turned the radio show on, and it's wonderful to hear people thinking out of the box of ways that we could protect our kids, our most valuable, thing that we have in our lives. I'm thinking that it would be pretty tricky if you're scampering to try to throw a vest on. I know if you're hiding in a classroom, you might be able to sneak it on if you're kind of locked down in a classroom. I'm not sure if it's really realistic for kids who are, rushing to get out or get out of the way to throw a vest on, and also to make them available for all the students. That just seems kind of tricky to me.
Mm-hmm. Kelly, Kelly, thank you. You got anything else? Because I'll let them respond.
I have one more thing.
Sure.
I was listening to this and thinking out of the box. I was like, why don't we have some of the pepper sprays arm the teacher? First of all, let's get this ball rolling and get pepper spray to the appropriate teachers, keep them out of the kids' hands, just for protection, because then that would kind of maybe slow down the process of what the shooter's intending on doing.
All right, Kelly, thank you for the call. We'll bring in John and Larry. And John, let's start with you on this answer, then we'll get to Larry.
Okay, so I understand her concern is time. These active shooters or code red drills, and they can happen at any time. You could have a bank robbery suspect who robs a bank down the road from a school. If that suspect is at large, that school will go into lockdown. Okay? We're talking about a product that you can put on in less than 10 or 15 seconds, depending on how fast you can get that vest out. So I understand her concern, saying there's going to be chaos. Absolutely. They're kids. Absolutely. And they might be running. But if I'm going to tell my son how to handle himself, it's going to be, look at, as soon as you hear a code red, and I mean the minute you hear it, you drop down, book pack, rip it off, put it on, then you can go. I mean, it's literally that fast.
And
literally that fast.
You can see the demonstrations right at the website.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's DefendAPackGear.com. DefendAPack Gear. It's on our Facebook page, and I tweeted the address out. Larry, we got a break coming up, but I want you to respond to Kelly's call, and then we'll take our final break. Go ahead.
Thank you, Kelly, for your comment. I would understand the same for my child. And you got to understand that there's different time frames. If the active shooter is not in your room, yeah, absolutely pull it out, put on the vest, and you have that time. If he's in the room, please understand that the backpack has 2 bulletproof plates in it. So what I would do, based on the situation, is I would cover myself with the backpack. You can strap your arms through it. You could put that on in a matter of 2 seconds. At least you have coverage in the front, and just, I guess, push yourself against the wall and hope for the best.
Right. So that Larry, is that would be in the worst case scenario where your backpack is either feet away or literally at your feet, but somebody comes in as an active shooter. That's at least something you could do literally in the time it takes to find the backpack and just put it up in front of you.
Absolutely. I mean, the coverage is in the backpack, so you use it the best way you can, and that's basically the point.
We're going to take a quick time out. Again, John DeCepolo and Larry James, both with DefendAPack. They're based in Florida. This idea comes about in really the last, 13, 14 months after the Parkland shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas School. And it's on the market right now. Their website, I've tweeted out and put on our Facebook, but it's DefendAPackGear.com. If you're just joining us, they'll take questions from you, and we'll get in as many calls as we can. 303-696-1971. Stay with us on 710 KNUS next.
Steffan Tubbs, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Welcome back. 9 minutes away from the top of the hour. We continue our discussion with Larry James and John DeCepolo. They are with DefendAPack. It's DefendAPackGear.com. First, before we do that, just from the National Weather Service in Boulder, a severe thunderstorm warning is going on right now until 5:30 this evening for Fleming, Iliff, and Crook, Colorado. I would highly doubt that most of you know where Fleming, Iliff, and Crook, Colorado are located. Northeast part of the state, some big-time golf ball-sized hail as well for northern Colorado earlier this afternoon. So we'll keep you updated. Scott's News coming up at the top of the hour. Gentlemen, I'm so glad, and John in specifics, thanks for setting this up for today. I greatly appreciate learning more about DefendAPack. And in the moments we have left, we probably have about 4 minutes left before the top of the hour that we've got to break. But John, I want to start with you with this. What do you tell somebody right now who is listening and has listened for the better part of this last hour that is at least thinking about it? Because this is a decision where you go, God, if I don't do this, there is a product out there that could potentially help. But at the same time, how hard is it going to be to, even I'm just thinking, talk to my kid about, hey, here's the backpack that I want you to use starting next school year.
It's the world we live in, Steffan, unfortunately, and I'll just say this. Our school resource officers wear protective body armor. Don't our teachers and students deserve the same? And if you don't want to put it in a backpack, supply the schools with it and make it part of the school education packet. Every student gets one. If a code red goes down, they huddle them together, they pass them out. Our students and teachers deserve better.
Larry, how about you?
Well, the only thing I can say is 113 shootings and school shootings last year, highest ever last year. Highest ever. If you equate 180 days of school in a school year, that's one shooting every 8 days of school. Something's got to change. As we say here, you may not be able to change the world, but you can change how you face it.
And both your kids